excited to have you and to get to our presentation. This is our November 19th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. And without further ado, we are going to turn it over to our student leaders for our Pledge of Allegiance, I believe. All right, if you'll all rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow.
Mr. Wilson, if I may.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of kiddos here, and we want to get them to their stations.
Okay.
So we're going to have almost every one of them go. We just wanted to quickly say thank you for getting them all here on time. That's usually the hardest
Yes,
part.
thank you.
So if you are one of our folks who is I leave after the Pledge of Allegiance, let's head out now and find your spot. Thank you.
Thank you, student leaders. So while the kids are filing out, I will get into some sort of preliminary orders of business. Again, welcome to everyone. We're joined here tonight by our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. R.J. Weber, here to my left.
Good evening.
We're also joined here by the Central Office Leadership Team here in the front, along with the Ed Tech team, the best team in the business. We also have some local dignitaries in the audience tonight, and we'll be introducing them as well. But before we get into things in real, we'll turn it over to our secretary, Ms. Stewart, for our roll call, please.
All right, thank you. President Wilson.
Here.
Vice President McIntyre.
I'm here. Good evening.
Treasurer Campbell-Voitel.
I'm here. Good evening.
Trustee Mazurek.
Here.
Trustee Meyer.
Hi, everyone. Here.
Trustee Prescott, have you heard?
She's on her way.
On her way. And Secretary Stewart, I am here.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. That brings us to the adoption of our agenda. Number 4, I'll turn it over to our Vice President, Ms. Lisa McIntyre, please.
Okay, I'd like to bring forth motion 48 that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Support.
All right, so we have a motion properly presented by Ms. McIntyre and supported by Mr. Mazurek. Any questions about our agenda tonight? I will note that we are going to switch up, just a very minor switch. We're going to move our first opportunity for public comment from agenda item number 9 up into spot number 7, just before the Thornton Creek Elementary presentation. All right, any questions, issues with that?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you so much for that. That brings us to our consent resolutions. Again, I'll turn it over to our Vice President, please.
Okay, I'd like to bring forth motion 49 that the board accept the consent agenda items for approval as presented. This includes 5A, minutes of the November 12th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. 5B, minutes of the November 12th, 2024 closed session meeting of the Board of Education. 5C, second reading and adoption of policies 2144, cardiac emergency response plan, 2151, media center materials and selection, 2153, parental guardian objections, policy 1113, adoption or amendment of bylaws and policies. Support. Hold on. Also 5D, adoption of instructional materials, Spanish 1, Pobrana and Popolati, and psychology, positive psychology. Support.
All right. So we have a motion properly presented by Ms. McIntyre and supported by Dr. Campbell-Voitel. Before we get into questions from board members, for the audience, I will note that these consent items, these consent resolution items are things like minutes from past meetings that we've all had a chance to review ahead of time and talk about. The readings of these policies and these instructional materials that you see here, we've all had a chance to review and vet and talk about in previous board meetings. Sometimes there are things like field trip requests and other things like that, but they generally don't merit much discussion at this meeting, but rest assured that we've talked about them in the past. Any other questions, issues with our consent items? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Our consent resolutions passed tonight. Thank you, everyone. That brings us to our communications. Ms. Stewart, please.
Okay. We've received emails to our board email address, npsboe@northvilleschools.org, and the Wayne Risa board highlights from November 13th, 2024.
All right, thank you. Any questions, issues with communications?
I just wanted to thank our community for supporting the Wayne Reese Enhancement Millage. Although it's been much discussion about the fact that our community pays more out than we get in. But it's money that we can't raise otherwise. So I just want to thank everyone for our support because that money goes a long way for our students. So thank you.
Excellent, well noted. Thank you for raising that again. Yep, thank you. All right, that brings us to, as promised, our first of 2 opportunities for public comment tonight. So again, we're mixing things up just slightly on our agenda. Public comment, like I said, we have 2 opportunities tonight. We'll have this opportunity, and then later after the student presentation and some of our business bid awards, we'll have another opportunity. Typically, this is an opportunity for you and the public to raise issues or shine a light on things or ask questions. You'll have 3 minutes. I ask that you just introduce yourself. Do we have a podium or a microphone? There we go. So without further ado, I will get into our public comment, and you can have your choice whether to talk at this public comment or the second one later this evening. My guess is that'll be an hour and a half or so from now. So I will go to the first card that I have in front of me, Mary Beth Teed, if you'd like to come up. And if you don't mind, just give us a quick introduction to, your connection to the district, and then go ahead into your,
Sure.
yeah.
My name is Mary Beth Teed. I am the kitchen coordinator. for
You know what,
Northville.
I will say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I'm so sorry. The microphone does help for folks who are watching the recording.
Your voice is loud, but it might not reach all the way into the township.
Oh, boy. Is that better?
That's good, yeah?
Wonderful. My name is Mary Beth. I am the kitchen coordinator for Meads Mill. And a couple of weeks ago, we got a surprise in our check. And I wrote a letter thanking you, but I wanted you to see a face with the gift that you gave us. We very much appreciate it. Most of us work 2 jobs, and we just really want, especially my kitchen, wanted to show our appreciation and thank you. So that's what I wanted to come
You're at
and,
Meads?
I'm sorry?
You're at Meads?
I'm at Meads, yes. So we just wanted to, again, thank you and put a face with where your dollars went.
Thank you so much, and thank you.
We appreciate the feedback, and once we get the remodel of Meads going, you'll like it even better.
Good things are coming to the kitchen at Meads, that's for sure.
Awesome, thank you.
Always.
All right, our next public commentator is a consummate public servant. He is here tonight to give some words. He is a House representative from our Plymouth, former House representative from Plymouth. He's the current township, one of the township trustees in Plymouth. He was just reelected this election, and I want to welcome to the mic John C. Stewart, please. Come on up. Most of us know who you are, but if you don't mind, a quick introduction so folks know who you are.
My wife wonders why, I love doing these kind of meetings, and you have warmed my heart, and you'll know why in a minute. My name is John Stewart, former state rep of 6 years and former chair of higher education appropriations. Currently, I'm an elected trustee, Plymouth Township, for the next 4 years. I want to thank Lindsay Wilson, Principal Deegan Jewett, for welcoming me. I've lived at 5 and Haggerty for the past 40 years with a law office on Main Street in Plymouth. Lindsay and I sat together at the chamber event, and the rest is history. I dearly miss Len Rozmersky and Karen Pasoric, my longtime 35-year friends. My mother was the youngest of 12 Vandervins from Holland, Michigan, and we still have a centennial home there. 7 taught public school, Western Michigan University graduates, but they taught for 40 years each in Michigan public schools. This past Thursday night, I spoke to the Mason Public School Board, which is why I'm here tonight. My uncle, James Vanderven, bachelor's, Hope, master's, University of Michigan, was superintendent of Mason Public Schools for 20 years. After World War II, Superintendent Vanderven closed all the one-room schoolhouses in Mason and the surrounding townships. During the 1950s, Mason built 3 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and the high school. I had the nerve to challenge the Mason School Board and everyone in attendance to be like the model of excellence in education, like the Northville Public Schools. The superintendent took off on that comment right away. He said, Superintendent Gary Kinzer of Mason, he said, one of my best collegial buddies is Superintendent R.J. Weber, a close collegial friend who I've worked with in Novi. I have repeatedly said the Northville Public Schools serve as a model of excellence all across Michigan. And if you don't remember anything else I say tonight, I hope you will remember that. All across Michigan, I said this in the House of Representatives 20 years ago. This prompted a meeting in my office for an hour and a half with a lady named Betsy DeVos. The purpose of my message is to ask for a stipend for a retired teacher, to ask your HR person to look into writing a book on the history of the Northville Public Schools. The lady that runs my law office wrote the book on the Livonia Public Schools. Also, I want to honor the legacy of Mike Rumbell and Mary Kay Markovich. Our culture is music. Friday, December 13th, the Marquee Theater is almost sold out. My wife is the executive director of the Michigan Philharmonic. I want to thank you for listening as professionals, and I wish you the best as we set our goals for the new year.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I apologize for the loud.
Am I on here? I really apologize for interrupting that and for being late to everybody.
You're good, yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Stewart. We will take this under consideration. Appreciate all that you do for your district and the state. All right, that's all the cards that I have here, but this is not the end of public comment. Anyone else? Going once, going twice? All right, there's still the opportunity later tonight. That moves us to, okay. That will close our first of 2 opportunities for public comment and bring us to our Thornton Creek Gators Elementary presentation. Mr. Jewett, please.
Wait and be patient with the mic. Are we good? Okay. So first and foremost, again, thank you for coming this evening. We're going to try to move things along pretty quick in here to get us out to our breakout sessions where we can then come back in and do a little debrief with our team. I'm going to turn it over, though, to our group of student leaders right here. Nope, that's me. Sorry, I got a little off track with the buzzer. I thought we were going to have to evacuate for a minute there. Okay. Okay. So, again, I'm going to condense this a little bit from what I was going to say. Each year, Thornton Creek picks a theme that really encompasses what we hope to achieve that year. So this year, as you can see, we've got several staff that have our team shirts on front and back, but you'll see a lot of that just kind of throughout what we do this evening. You'll see that in the halls. Perhaps you've even talked with your students at home about team. Together, everyone achieves more. And we got to this point from not only where we have been in the previous years, but just what we've experienced as a building, what we've experienced as a community. And so if we peel back the layers to last year with the amazing race, it's really trying to find that piece within ourselves that is truly amazing. What is it that we can celebrate about ourselves and others? And then the previous year, one of our favorite ones was Mission Possible. So as we came out of COVID, there was just a lot of deep reflection at the building with staff, with students, with families about where do we need to go and how do we get there. So that is what has brought us to, what did I do with my clicker now? Oh, jeez. Okay. That's what brought us to Catherine Gibson.
Sorry, I'm ready to speed along so you can hear from all of our student leaders. So just a quick information on some things I shared last year that I promised I would revisit again this year for those of you who are here again. First off, our goal is always that collective leadership, and not just teachers collectively, but also students, and you'll see that this evening. We always try to involve as many students as possible in events where they can hone in and show their leadership skills. Another piece to that is our strong MTSS, or multi-tiered systems of support at our school. Again, this is district-wide, all elementary schools, where teachers do come together as grade levels and make decisions on students, revisit not only the data piece, but also as a whole child, behaviorally, social, emotionally, where are we and what can we do to promote student success. And our goal is to now include all voices. So we have some new forums where now we're including humanities in some of those discussions and making sure that all of our teachers are involved. The last few weeks have been very busy here around Thornton Creek. We had our data dig and now our board and now conferences this week. And we're just gonna show you, yes, we can get it all done in a short amount of time, very efficient. So we always, again, ground ourselves in some of those data decisions in moving forward with our goals. A big goal for us is always having that system, always having a system that we can come back to. Our Leader and Me leaders coming together, working with our action teams, preparing ourselves for the next year so that we can hit the ground running and not start to work through the year and implement some of those changes that we need or would like to see from some of the data collected or the voices of our students. What we have found is that our students are very positive, and yes, they love Thornton Creek and everything about their well-being and things that we are doing to encourage them here. Our teachers are a little harsh on themselves and are their hardest critiques and start to say, oh, well, maybe I need to learn more about this, or maybe I need to do this. And so we're always now trying to make sure that we are celebrating our teachers, celebrating the successes here. We have found that that was one thing that was pointed out to us time and time again from Leader and Me as we've gone through our milestones. You need to celebrate more. And that is what we are working to do. And we are going to do that today with all of our students. So I am super excited to turn it over so our students can share with you their learning, their leading, and their growth. Okay, and here is Vivian.
Welcome. We're excited to have you at our Teaming Up for Success Board of Education event. It's time to learn about your team in your first session. Please look at your VIP event badge that you were given when you arrived. If you have a yellow sticker on the back of your badge, your first session will be focused on academics and empowering instruction within our classrooms. This will be in room B14. I will be your team leader with my partner, Everett.
Hi, I'm Nolan, and I'm in charge of your leadership team. If you have a blue sticker on the back of your badge, your first session will be focused on direct lessons with our Gator groups and restorative practices. This will be in our art room. I'll be your team leader with my partner, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Sloan, and I'm in charge of the culture team. If you have a green sticker on the back of your badge, your first session will be focused on leadership roles found daily at Thornton Creek. This session will be in the gym. I will be your team leader with my partner, Pan.
All right, great job, everyone. All right, so all of our hosts, our presenters, we have blank backs. You don't. So on the back of yours, you have one of three colors. You have yellow, you have green, or you have blue. You also then have three empty white spots. Those are for you to collect stickers at each of the sessions you attend. So there are 3 sessions. You will go from one to the next to the next. We will have our team leaders taking you through that space. So if you are green, you'll follow this young man. If you are yellow, you'll follow her. And if you're blue, you'll follow her. Yeah, she's super excited. Promise. All right. And we also have our amazing helpers that are going to be kind of at the tail end. They're going to be the caboose of each group, and they're going to do this with their finger. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start with yellow. So if you are somebody who has a yellow sticker on the back of yours, you're going to follow our yellow team leader. She's going to take you to B14, Miss Cracchiola's classroom.
You guys moved up public comment.
We did because we had Jeff Stewart here, so he can get away. He's asking, were you here when he spoke? Okay, so past a.
All right. If you have a blue sticker on the back of your name badge, if you have blue, please follow our team leader, Hannah. She's going to hold that team sign up as high as she can. Hannah, hold on one sec, though, just so we can make sure we get our yellow folks out. And then, keep it up. Keep it up so they can line up behind you. All right. Go for it. She's going to take you down to the art room.
Okay, okay. I think I'm that.
I tell you, that's that little buzzer at 3 minutes really give me a little heart attack.
It hits you.
Oh, it's so loud.
It hits you.
I really thought.
Thank
Hey,
you, Big.
really nice to meet you.
Have a nice day. Yeah, be well.
And if you have a green sticker, please follow my friend Brady. Advika, I'm going to have you come this way. Advika, this way, since you're going to be at the back.
There we go. Good.
Can I start? Congratulations on completing your 3-team task. You did great and we appreciate your participation. However, we have one more team task for you to complete. Please look around your seat for a QR code. There's also a QR code on the screen. We would like you to scan this using the camera on your phone. Please visit the link and answer the one question. Give one word to describe this evening. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight and supporting our team.
All right, thank you so much. Questions, comments, board members, anything? I have a couple out. Can I cut anybody off?
But I got a couple too, but.
Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah.
So a couple things. One, I want to thank Emmy. Emmy wrote up a piece for board members and she gave it to me about team. And so I really want to thank you for this. Was a really cool surprise. So thank you, Emmy. I'm not sure where you're at in there, but it was really nice. And I thought the AI piece was really cool. I was really surprised because I sat at a computer by myself and the room was like really, really loud, right? And I put voice input into it and actually, surprisingly, got my input and gave it right. So I was really, really pleased about that. But I have a question for you, and I'd like to have 3 of you give me a response. So you can't raise your hand till I ask the question. So for AI, you guys have been using Snorkel. Does Snorkel help you learn easier than before, or is it about the same? So 3 of you give me an answer.
Yes, it's easier because it gives you a response after you submit your question, and it helps you learn from your mistakes, and then you can redo your answer on a blank sheet or your previous thing, and you can learn from your mistakes that they told you to and do that.
Okay.
Yes, it does help us getting better at learning. We have 5 assignments every week.
I think it is about the same because there have been some technical difficulties in Snorkel, but a lot of it is easy.
Okay. And I'll ask a question for a teacher. So thank you for your input. That was really kind of cool, the feedback. So we are also told that Snorkel provides a summary and kind of gives feedback to the teachers. Does it make it easier for you to kind of understand the students and know where to devote more time?
100%. So when Snorkel gives us the feedback, it actually has an exemplars folder. So we're able to see student exemplar work. We also have feedback given on specific needs the students have. So if there was a math challenge and there was some students that were struggling with regrouping, Snorkel actually makes several groups of student needs that are exemplars or needing extra help. And we're able to meet with those students at a much faster rate. Something that came up in the final group as well is if you have any ML speakers in the classroom who do not speak English as their native or first language, you can speak in your native language to Snorkel, and it provides feedback back in that language the student is speaking with. So this is a really great new innovative resource we're excited to try.
Cool.
So just to add to that a little bit, the co-founder who we had at our PD, which was so cool to meet him and learn from him, he was a teacher himself. And so if you can imagine a classroom teacher would have a lesson and give an exit ticket, that teacher then has to collect, has to grade, and then give the feedback the next day or maybe that afternoon, where this is instant, which again is just amazing.
Life-changing.
Okay, cool.
Can I ask a follow-up on that, just to follow up on that piece? So when I'm sitting with, I have 3 students, and when I'm sitting with them doing math, I can kind of see the mistake as it's happening, right? Especially if it's borrowing and not, you call it regrouping. I'm from the 70s or 80s, and we call it borrowing. But anyway, I can see what they're doing wrong. Like I can see your notation you didn't make the notation, so therefore when you came back to the tens, you weren't going to do it right because you just took it away and didn't do the right notation. Can it show you, like, is it fast enough to get what the problems are that are systemic, like that the student is making over and over, or that a group of students is making? Or is it just telling you they're making this mistake and you still have to make that judgment of like, this is the issue of what's happening? You know what I'm saying?
So something that's really great about Snorkel is you don't have to just try it once. You get multiple opportunities to respond. So Snorkel will provide you the positive interactive feedback, but it will also not give you the answer. So students are still thinking critically, where was my mistake? How can I fix it for the next time? And using it in the classroom, I've had students try it twice and they fix their mistake. Sometimes it takes multiple responses. And on Snorkel, I can see how many times they've responded, the score, and the feedback they received on each. So it's differentiated for every single response that we receive.
So, and again, a teacher is not sitting there watching their computer while they're all doing Snorkel, right? This is something that they're doing independently. Well, maybe a teacher is working with that small group that's already been put into a group, honing in on those skills, and they are working independently, getting feedback at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Does Snorkel add up? How many times in the class did the kids not carry the one? Isn't that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, like, is there kind of like a conglomeration of like,
This group had a problem.
like they're missing, they don't get it on, yeah.
This group has the dreaded 0 to the 10th place issue, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's obvious that you're pulling it into just their initial learning curve on introducing new or applying new principles. But is there also a way that they can circle back, say that they've completed their work at their desk and that they can have time with Snorkel? And what do they work on when that happens?
Absolutely. So it looks different. In my classroom specifically, we'll do maybe a whole week math instruction. We'll do some practice, and then our students have choices that they can make to differentiate their learning. So some options are now Snorkel. We have concept quests with our Bridges curriculum. But recently, I know I have a lot of students up here. Snorkel has become a fan favorite for you. And I've seen students gravitate and beg to go on Snorkel. So sometimes it could be a launch to a lesson. And sometimes it could be a closing exit ticket. Or it could just be extra practice to really enrich them with new ideas that we're going to talk about in the future.
And again, we all want the best feature in my mind is that positive feedback. All students want that positive feedback. That's what's giving them that positive. Nope, it's not on. The positive feedback that way. But just so you know, this Snorkel isn't only math. It was created by some math teachers, and that was the first intention. But there are reading components as well. So you can do running records, word study. Yes, there's a lot out there, and it's continuing to grow.
Can they access it through Clever or ClassLink or
Yeah.
they have that at home so that they could like
Yes.
the parent, like, because I'm thinking it's easy when it's borrowing / regrouping, but if it's calculus, the
Yes.
parent isn't maybe no longer able to hang.
So this is a great tool. I actually checked it as a tool to help me with report cards. I was looking for more feedback to have from students, and I noticed that students were doing it on the weekend. It tells you the times and the dates they took this. And going backwards to something that was just mentioned, I teach word study, and there aren't many reading and word study lessons created yet. So I actually input my information into Snorkel, gave them some feedback I'd want to give to students, correct answers, things that we're looking for. And students tried it this week, and not only did it do everything I programmed Snorkel to do, it exceeded my expectations, and it made the students quick to applying our lesson into the AI program. They do have to be assigned the task, yes.
Unless a teacher has assigned a library of problems.
Okay, because like
if
in
that.
IXL,
But
you
the
can-
high school, I'm certain, is probably doing some things.
Yeah,
like that, maybe.
so it's not like IXL where you can like
pull
up anything from K to 12, but it's assigned. Okay.
Yes.
I would just like to congratulate the students that hosted the session that demonstrated restorative practice circle. And I guess there's so many positive outcomes that I noticed, but maybe you can, maybe there are a few of you, one or two, or to use Jim's maximum of 3 hands. Talk about what you have, what you've learned from your restorative circles, what the benefit is in your experience.
Well, a restorative circle has many upsides. There's a lot of things that go well with it, like you can talk about how you feel throughout the day, or if something's going bad, you can talk about how you could fix it. It's also good. I had one question where an adult asked, is it good for work? And I said, well, it could be at some points, because if you're having a hard time with an assignment from work, you could get in a circle and talk about how you think you could do better, what you could have done better, what you think was good, and all that stuff.
The restorative circle helps me not talk about all the fun things I did on the weekend during the learning time. It helps me at the restorative circle time. It helps me so I can share what I did on the weekend at that time instead of during reading or math. Restorative circles, they really help me when I'm having a bad day, or if something that I did on the weekend, or if something's really happy, I can talk about my feelings or talk about something I did that was fun.
I have a question about restorative circles too. I wonder if anybody, or could you tell me just by raising your hand, if you've ever taken restorative circles back to your family and asked to talk with your family about something that was bothering you? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Do you think any of you would do that in the future? Okay, cool. Thank you.
I just wanted to say I love coming to Thornton Creek because you go all in on a theme. I should not have been surprised that there was a costume change, so I'm here for it. I love it. I really like this Together Everyone Achieves More. I saw a lot of emphasis on working together and things that you can do as a group and getting better as a group. And one thing that was mentioned at the very beginning was that the need to be aware and cognizant of making sure that you celebrate things. I think it was mentioned with Snorkel, they celebrate your successes and then they tell you something that you can work on. And I'm wondering if a few people could tell me about something they think that they could celebrate about themselves or their class, or they'd like to give a shout out to their teacher, something that they could celebrate that's happened for them this school year so far.
I want to give a shout out to my teacher, Mrs. Ballish, but she's not here because she included me for everything. She didn't kind of make me feel left out or just felt like you're not included in everything. She actually cared about us, and she always had a smile on her face that warmed your heart. And sometimes whenever I'm feeling upset, she'll come sit down next to me and then she'll say, tell me everything. She kind of make me feel super duper happy because I started I came to the school last year, so I really want to give a shout out to all my 4th grade and 5th grade teachers that helped me survive and kind of help me out through the year. I would like to give a shout out to my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Wesley, because last year I was struggling a lot in most of my subjects, but with Miss Wesley's help, I really got to my goal of getting a good grades. So I really want to give a shout out to Mrs. Wesley. She's always smiles, and thank you to all my teachers. I would like to give a shout out to my teacher, Miss Carciola. So she helped me with regrouping a lot. especially with subtraction. Because last year I struggled with subtraction regrouping, and now this year, Miss Cacchiola has helped me a lot with regrouping.
Thank you so much.
We could be here for another couple days.
Yeah,
if you'd
you
like.
could be, yes.
They're all adorable. And they're all true.
Okay, go for it.
So I will keep it really brief because I know parents want to get home and get like showers and ready for the day tomorrow. I loved the leadership role, moving around the gym and getting to see what everyone has chosen to apply for. And I like the 3 responses. Maybe tell us a little bit about what a different job that you've done. Because I know we got to see a lot of the jobs this year and some of them were amazing, but I bet there are so many other jobs that we didn't get to hear about tonight.
I'm doing credit union this year for Miss Cracchiola's class, and I'm walking around to see kids that need to be to the library to get their money in. And I think this is a cool job because I like helping kids out, and yeah.
Awesome.
I have a link leader job, and I like helping kids that are in need and need having help. I do safety in the morning for the kindergarteners. So what I do is I bring them in the morning and get them to their classroom safely.
Awesome.
So I just want to give one shout out and thank you to Thornton Creek. And it's really about the leadership, right? I think it's a little bit easier to take on leadership roles when you're in 4th or 5th grade. You know, you're a little bit more confident and you've been around a while. You're kind of the big kids on the block. But I talked to a couple of 1st and 2nd graders, and I thought that was the coolest thing, right? Because leadership is not something that just happens. You have to build small, build confidence, and then slowly work your way up. So I want to compliment the school for finding opportunities for those 1st and 2nd graders. Let them take that smaller leadership pieces and build up. That was, I think, one of the biggest things that kind of stood out to me. And, allowing these kids to build confidence and go on to something bigger, both at Thornton Creek, at the middle school, and finally at the high school. So take something small, get yourself confidence, and keep going. Thank you very much for those 1st and 2nd graders that are here. You guys impressed the heck out of me.
Yeah, you rock.
Thank you.
Good comments. I'll keep mine really brief as well. First of all, thank you so much for welcoming us here tonight. You did such a great job at the doors, handing us our badges, right? Our lanyards, the warm welcome that we received. It's really obvious to us how much preparation time you all students put into this, right? You knew what to do here in the room. You knew what to do at your stations. Super impressed. I agree. The leadership that you are showing is really commendable. It's so inspiring. That's the word that I typed into Mentimeter, inspirational. The students that raise their hands at the beginning of the year to be flag leaders, right? To go out every day and take the flag down, rain or shine. The equipment leaders who are running around the playground after recess is over and collecting up all the balls and untying jump ropes. What was the other one? The education or the academics leaders, the kids who are teaching the 1st and 2nd graders, helping them with math. That's really special and awesome to see. I think there's something really special about this building. The messaging that you use and the color. Look at the vibrancy, the halls. When you're walking around, you can feel it. I love the theme around celebrate more. One of the teachers, I think, said celebrate more. And team, the theme for the night is just, it's awesome to see. My question is, walking the halls, I saw a lot of photos, right? Photos of teachers and students, I think. with a phrase or some words underneath. Could one or two students explain what those photos and those words are meant to do? And I'll leave it to Mr. Jewett. I'll put him on the spot you can pick which student gets to answer that question.
I'll tell you what, let's do you two right here.
Those photos are mostly for saying either like what we're proud of or what we think like we're proud of as ourselves.
This picture is hanging in the hallway. I was actually pretty confused when I came here last year. But you see, they're actually for the people. Like everybody, like you can tell by you can tell the year that person first came to the school by what it says, like on the bottom, like it says a different quote. And usually what you're supposed to do is you're given it's supposed to match the theme of the school. It's supposed to match how everything is going on. And it's supposed to basically tell you, what you're supposed to write on the board. It's kind of like what you're proud of, or it could be like what your hero is, what your goal is. It could be a lot of things. But it depends on the year that you're doing it. Mostly depending on the year that when you first come to the school.
Awesome. Yeah.
One more.
You do have a lot to be proud. Oh yeah, one more.
It's like a memory when you had your first job. So maybe you can try another job. So maybe you can have that same memory that you did last time that you had that job.
All right. Well, you do have a lot to be proud of here. You really do. Students, staff, teachers, parents. Way to turn out tonight. Way to bring your kids out here tonight. I thought, saw a ton of energy and enthusiasm in the classes. Electric kind of energy here. So thank you all, and I'll turn it over to our superintendent.
Yes. The piece that I'm going to look right at you, who told me this, one of our teachers. So the RP last year, we went towards that. And what I heard was something I wish that, frankly, my son had in elementary school, which is the ability to share great things or not so great things when you're feeling that way. And the word that your teacher used was the expression of feelings, rather than keeping them bottled up or bottled down, that we share them and do so in a healthy way. Everyone on the stage, the teachers in this room, the parents at home, watch out parents, because you're going to get more circles at home, whether you like it or not. We'll train you, don't worry, we got you. Is something, then you meld that with what we saw with Snorkel and what we saw with the ability to differentiate aspects of instruction. And then in the gym, seeing all the different activities. Where are my bird guys, my bird seed guys? Want to raise your hand real quick? Bird seed crew. So we talked about that a little bit, and that is service above self. And as you lead this life, serving this world for something bigger than you is also important. But joy is where it's at. Melding technology and the human spirit together is really what I think brings it together. Deegan, and to all the staff here, to the Wolf Pack who's here tonight, our kids are in such good hands with each of you. And on behalf of myself and the team that I'm privileged to work beside, thank you so much. And for the parents, heck of showing tonight. You guys showed out. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great night.
Just real quick, one thing. I know we do have our parents and kiddos. We want to get you out of here, get home. We do have the raffle part of this, which is very important. Very important. You too can potentially be the proud owner of one of these. Possibly some spirit wear, maybe some Gator Gala wristbands and a few things. So before you head out, I'm going to set this in the media center because there's a book fair going on too. And I'm going to set this in there. Feel free to drop the badge itself, the whole thing in there, and we'll draw some names later this week and into next. Thank you so much for coming. Boys and girls, you crushed it. Thank you so much. Did we want to do anything else over there? Okay, I think we're all set. Do we want to get one picture?
Are we doing the picture? All right.
RJ.
RJ, do we want to do
RJ, one quick photo.
picture? Before we go, those of you who are interested would like to, parents and youngsters, want to go ahead and line up here behind the board members. We'll do a picture to commemorate this wonderful night. If not, you don't need to. Mr. Kling, you're tall, right? So I'm going to give you my phone. All right. Come on over, guys.
Come take us.
A comment. I just need one comment before ABCD.
Sure.
I would say it like a more quick silent listener. Luckily, the kids said one of my teachers' names, so I was like, good, I got it now.
Thanks for staying up and working on a special project.
Oh my God.
Thank you for that.
Let's get going, right?
Yeah. Glad we got it done.
All right, that brings us to our superintendent report.
Yep. So tonight, obviously, magical night here at TC. And before we get into ABCD, and I think the board's all ready for your run of show on that. You've got your documentation so we can honor our
We
educators.
have a place to stand for optimal.
We do. It's actually, thank you very much for doing a marker. We actually have gaffer tape on the floor for you. So all you have to do is stand on that. And what it will do is ensure that the video comes so people watching at home can see and have it for posterity. So really quick. So I've been in contact with Brian Samalski, and our girls volleyball, if they win tonight, would go to Battle Creek Thursday. And I'm happy to report they have won game one, 25-5 against Bedford, who went 5 last year. We won game two, 25-21. So let's just send some positive mojo their way. They're down in Dearborn competing tonight. And it really is one of those beautiful things of community public schools is that we provide opportunities for kids to compete at a high level that doesn't cost families $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 to do it in another way. So it's just another value add in those things that make us, I think, all proud to be public educators and servants of the public. So sending them love and energy. And I think President Wilson, you are all ready to honor some good people.
That's right. No, thank you. So this brings us to our ABCD awards, our Above and Beyond the Call of Duty. These are folks in our NPS school community who, just like it says, have gone above and beyond. They've been nominated by teachers, students, anyone in the community for doing something that goes above and beyond. And we're going to shine a light on a few of those or a number of those tonight, all here at Thornton Creek tonight. I have the honor of talking about our first teacher. This is a kindergarten teacher who was nominated by a parent. This is honoring Mrs. Heisner. So the parent says, she goes above and beyond every day, creating a warm and engaging environment for our children. Her patience, creativity, and dedication to each student's growth truly inspire everyone around them. She's making our kindergarten year exceptional. Mrs. Heisner not only supports students academically, but also fosters a sense of community and kindness. She's a shining example of what it means to be an exceptional educator. So on our behalf, the board and the entire district want to give Mrs. Heisner this ABCD award. Is she here tonight?
I'll be stand on the
So we
tape.
go on the gaffer tape there.
Black tape.
There we go. Perfect. Right over here. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I get the honor of presenting to one of our preschool teachers, which we're so thankful to have them. And please excuse me if I don't say your name correctly, Miss Anne-Marie Velrell Santrak. Not here tonight. Well, anyways, a parent nominated her and said that she made my child get comfortable in the school environment, and there are always words of optimism and praise to help him get better. So thank you, Ms. Velrell Santrak, for all you do for our preschool kids.
All right, I have the honor to celebrate Erica Gerns, who is a 4th grade teacher here at Thornton Creek. Is she here tonight? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Mrs. Gerns, this was presented to you by a parent. And the parent says, Mrs. Gerns leads and teaches with compassion, structure, and thoughtfulness, and it shows in each of her classes. When I had the opportunity to volunteer as an art appreciation teacher for her class, it was astounding to experience how her class operated under her leadership. I could tell the students were accustomed to an environment in which they felt safe to respectfully ask questions and even challenge what was being taught by using critical thinking skills. This approach is present in everything Mrs. Gurns participates in with her class, whether it is the orchestration of a class holiday party, all the way to the more involved grade-wide projects such as our famous Gator Tank and Festival of Cultures. So thank you for everything you've been doing for our students.
All right, I get to continue on the roll with our fourth grade team. So actually, this is a joint nomination. If Ms. Cracchiola and Ms. Wesley would join us up here. Yeah. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an ad lib, and I'm excited to tell you about a parent who made this submission on your behalf. But I just want to say that when the board, not every Board of Education visits the schools that they govern. And but if we didn't come here, it would be impossible to see the way you two interact with your students and with your colleagues. And I have come here year after year and seen some of you, show up and bring it to present to this board, to show what your school is about. But it's also in the little in-between moments where I get to see you cheering for your colleagues and supporting them and like having that connection with your students. And if you're a careful observer, you can see what you are bringing into this community. And I just wanted to lift that up as I also tell you what this parent has said about you guys. So the parent said that you have shown unparalleled passion and enthusiasm in your teaching. Your innovative approach to engaging students in the classroom, like we saw tonight, ignites curiosity, fosters a love of learning. The parent says that you consistently find new ways to make subjects accessible and exciting, ensuring students don't feel like they're not left behind. You genuinely care about each child's success and take the time to provide personalized support and encouragement. The efforts in giving students a chance to help the surrounding community was also lifted up. Things like having the confidence to come and speak, coming and speaking to the PTA meetings, being on the student lighthouse team, the credit union, being part of the tonight's presentation has helped our kids feel confident, supported, and inspired to excel. I would say Mr. Wilson stole words right out of my mouth when he talked about the hallways of the school. I most immediately noticed them when I was right outside your two classrooms, and I was like, wow, this place is just, it's a wonderland for kids. And the last thing I'll say is I can remember to this day my fourth grade classroom, what it looked like, what it felt like, who taught me fourth grade, what she looked like, her cursive handwriting. What you guys do will be with these kids forever. Throughout their lives. So congratulations.
Well, I am pleased to continue this wonderful celebration of excellence among the teachers here at this school. I am bringing a nomination coming from a parent to Libby Costello, who is a third grade teacher. Is Libby here? Hey, Libby.
All right.
I think actually the transition from the comment that you made about you can remember your fourth grade teacher, how she wrote, what the room looked like, and really what this nomination is coming from is a parent of a past student who remembers you. And we do change lives forever in our classrooms, don't we? The parent writes, Libby is so patient and engaging with students. Still, she is my son's absolute favorite teacher. He loved going to school the year he had Mrs. Costello. She also remembers and says hi to him when we are around the school for his younger sibling. Just a bright light that made school fun for my son. So. And I will own up to the fact that I jotted some numbers on her official letter. So I will send you a quick copy.
All right, and I'm going to wrap us up with our last one. Megan Morrell, a third grade teacher here at Thornton Creek. Is she here tonight? All right. So you were nominated by a parent who says that you consistently go above and beyond for your students, making learning exciting and accessible for everyone. Her innovative teaching methods and genuine care for each child's well-being create a positive classroom environment. Ms. Morrell also collaborates with colleagues and engages with parents, fostering a strong sense of community. Her dedication and passion truly make a difference in our school.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
November rain on.
I love it. President Wilson, before we move on.
Sure. Yep.
So just an observation there, as well as some observations that Trustee Prescott made. You know, teams that root for each other and enjoy seeing each other succeed, even though you might not be having a great day, and all of those things, to me, are the hallmark of truly any great team or organization. When you lift other people up and you speak well of them and care about them. And then I won't talk anymore, but we'll listen to a little audio here and see if you guys can figure out what happened.
Our high school Mustangs are Final Four bound, Battle Creek Thursday, and hopefully Battle Creek, and some of you may know, which is crazy when you think that our kids grow up to be a lot bigger than they are here and do things on their fields of play or passion that are just a joy. So thank you for always carrying that energy and love forward. And I think thank you for the board. That was really kind words and uplifting for the staff. And not every board intentionally lifts up staff in the way that we do. And that is something that is just important. Silent gratitude is worthless. So thank you. Thank you, President Wilson.
All right, thank you. So that brings us to, this is actually, so technically we've already had, okay, there we go.
Yeah, we already did that one.
Yep. So I'll hand it over to Dr. Campbell-Boytel for our bid awards.
Hey, thank you for helping us navigate that. All right, I am bringing motion 50 that the board award a contracts outlined in the AUK construction recommendation letter dated October 4th, 2024 that total $4,866,348 for Northville High School mechanical upgrades that will be funded through the bond 2023. And B, a professional service contract to WIS Janney Eltzner Associates Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $55,000 funded through the bond 2023 as presented.
Support.
All right.
One minor correction, because we just did review this in committee of the whole last week. I think the first item is actually funded through Bond 2023 and sinking fund. Very minor, it doesn't affect it, but just for corrective purposes.
Right.
The first one is sinking fund?
Bond 23 and sinking fund.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, all good.
So
All right.
as amended, I move.
Support.
As amended. Thank you.
All right, I did hear Ms. McIntyre first, so we have a motion properly presented by Dr. Campbell-Boytel and supported by Ms. McIntyre. Any additional information on this one? I mean, we did have this on our agenda last week, and we discussed it at some length, but any other questions, issues we call out, get clarification? All right, let's vote on it then. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our bid awards pass. Thank you. That brings us to number 11 on our agenda, our cooperative agreement. Ms. Meyer, please.
All right, I would like to bring forth motion 51, that the board authorize the superintendent to execute the cooperative agreement between Michigan Virtual University and Northville Public Schools as presented.
Support.
Support.
All right.
Somebody did, hopefully.
We have a motion properly presented by Ms. Meyer and supported by Dr. Campbell-Boytel. We have discussed this a bit in closed session, and we did, I want to thank the folks that had a hand in negotiating and redlining the agreement over the last several days. Great job, Sarah, Lisa. Give us a little introduction to this. We already know a little bit about it, but for the public's purposes.
Thank you. Thank you, President Wilson. So I'm going to kind of group both items 11 and 12 together because they go hand in hand. Obviously, they're two different motions. So this is also in reference to the employment contract for an administrator. But let me start by saying that this MVU cooperation grant agreement and the AI specialist on loan employee agreement was brought to us through Michigan Virtual University as they are seeking a partner with Northville Public Schools to meet recent statewide expectations and establish a center of excellence for the responsible utilization of artificial intelligence, AI, in Michigan schools K through 12. This is a recently legislatively funded program that Michigan Virtual University is responsible for creating, and this cooperative grant agreement is part of that. Upon board approval, the district will provide Michigan Virtual University with an AI strategist on loan from January 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Aaron Boffman, our Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Services at Northville Public Schools, will serve as the AI strategist on loan to MVU. Mr. Boffman is not only an exceptional instructional leader, but has also been emerging as an innovator in the use of AI in education, both statewide and nationally. This partnership with MVU will benefit the students and staff of Northville Public Schools, as well as those students throughout the state of Michigan. Through this agreement, the district will gain access to emerging technologies and best practices. The cooperative agreement ensures that the district will continue to benefit from Mr. Boffman's expertise and support on ongoing AI initiatives, while also providing access to the latest technological advancements and innovations. Some key highlights that I want to make sure that the board is aware of for the district include access to developed AI MVU material through the 2027-28 school year. We will also have access to direct coaching and development for our tech coaches for a minimum of 15 days, and that service will be provided by Aaron Boffman. There will be collaboration with Aaron Boffman in Northville Public Schools on 5 professional development days over the course of the next year and a half. The district will also receive transition support for district administration as we transition from Assistant Superintendent Boffman in his current role to our new interim Assistant Superintendent. We also have, as part of this agreement, and I think this is important for Northville Public Schools as well as communities across the state, we will have first right of refusal on all piloting opportunities. that is bringing in the best of the best in emerging technologies for Northville Public Schools to work through with our fabulous teaching staff, and be a beacon of support for districts across the state. Included in this contract, for your awareness, there is also a non-solicitation agreement by NVU, basically stating that they will not recruit, they will not seek to employ actively any employees of the district for the contract term plus 12 months. And then finally, MVU, I'm assuming through the wonderful AI strategist on loan, will be providing the district with interim and final reports to the Board of Education outlining activities undertaken, milestones achieved, and then the campaign outcomes as directed by the state, and the impact on K-12 educators. So with that said, on behalf of the superintendent and the central office leadership team, we recommend that the board adopt the MVU cooperation agreement and the corresponding updated employment contract.
All right, thank you for that. Any questions, issues? We do have the contract, actually both of them in our packets. I think we all had a chance to look at the red lines earlier today, if they're not in here as well. Any questions, other points? I think you covered it pretty well, but any other points?
No, I just thank the team that went into details on this for capturing our thoughts from last week and turning them to contract language that I think is beneficial, right? And I think we all kind of in our gut saw that as AI took off and Aaron was kind of leading this, eventually something was going to happen. And so I want to thank Aaron for the number of years of service that he's had with us. But also I think this is kind of a win-win situation, right? He is going to provide leadership for the state. We're going to get access to all of that leading technology, and access to his time. And so I do believe at the end of the day, we knew we were going to lose Aaron at some point in time. But this actually is a solution that actually continues to support us for the next 2.5 years. And I wasn't sure we were going to get that, but I thank the negotiating team, and I thank Aaron for really being kind of the rocket to take us from where we were a year and a half ago. We talked about AI to where we are at today. It's pretty amazing, just seeing what we saw here today. And, you know, we are absolutely one of the leading districts in the state of Michigan. I think we're probably one of the leading districts even in the United States with this initiative. And so, Aaron, thank you for your efforts, but also thank you for the commitment to staying in contact with Northville, giving us the opportunity to pilot things, and making sure we're first at all these things. So I appreciate that as much as it pains me to put you on loan, but I think this was kind of the best of the alternatives.
Anything else?
Well, I think on a higher level, that, when you're an outstanding district and you're fully committed to professional development at every level, is for the entire breadth of the district, you can't be too surprised when the people that you've supported and to pursue their professional development to the maximum ability are going to become valuable outside of the district. And so we mourn the loss, but we also recognize that we celebrate with you the fact that, that your development in the AI realm and expertise opened up some doors for you, Aaron. And we'll always feel proud that this was a school district that those kinds of skills and abilities and interests could be fed and nourished, and that it spread out to lift us all up, at every classroom in every one of our school districts and above. So thank you for that. We can feel glad that we're that kind of a district. We can feel sad that, that your personhood is, that we look out at and see in the Colt team across the boardroom for us, will be, we'll miss seeing you there. And all of I think the insight and the leadership that you provide, even beyond AI, it hasn't just been in the AI realm. but we're glad and we're proud and we're happy for you too. So, bravo.
Can I just do a quick summary? Because I don't think I would understand what was going on super well if I wasn't already 6 hours deep in discussion about this. So just really quick, so what this means is Mr. Boffman will be leaving us. That will be happening in January. He will not be going too far. We get to still interact with him and maybe in an area of a special passion, not that it's his only, but it's an area of great skill and talent because he will be with this on loan to this other entity and coming back for our professional development and helping our administrators and our team and staff. That will happen through the end of the 28 school year. Our board grappled with this for hours and hours last week and had a small subcommittee work on some of the bargaining to really get to where we felt like this was something that really served our community and our kids in the best possible way. So Mr. Boffman's salary, his wages, those sorts of things will be paid by this other entity. So his pay will be paid by another entity. We will get to keep him on our payroll and with a more narrowed focus of supporting us in particularized ways. His job will need to be backfilled. It's a pivotally important job. I think of it as the number two or so. I mean, I think of it as the number two job in the district is the head of academics. And so it's a very important job and the board takes that really, really seriously. And so that was part of the discussion and the cadence and how we're going to replace and how we're going to think about that is part of that discussion. So I think those were just some basic points I just thought maybe would be a little helpful to say out loud. And then last thing I'll say, Erin, is I think you're brilliant. And just like Mike, and you saw me do it, I push, and I push, and I push, and I question, and I question, and I question. And I'm sure there's no one other than you, Mike, and RJ to my left here that I've done it with more. But I incredibly respect you. And I appreciate what you've done for our kids and our teachers here.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just add a couple of things. I mean, we all had a chance to see Snorkel AI in action tonight. We've all demoed it. I mean, I remember the demonstration that we did that you led us through, I don't know, 6 months ago, whenever that was, 8 months ago. We went through a number of tools that night and it became at least two things became super clear to me. One is AI and its use in the classroom is the way of the future. I mean, the way it expedites exponentially the pace at which students learn and ingest and have back and forth, I think is pretty incredible. That was number one. And two is you're an obvious leader in this space. Northville isn't leading in that space without you, and we owe you for that reason and a number of others a huge debt of gratitude. It's awesome to see you do that and doing that, and the state going off and doing this. I think we need to keep up with the rest of the world, Northville and the state included. So I think this agreement and the one after it keeps us there to the best of our ability, right? With tools and expertise and insight and leadership. And so I'm in favor of this arrangement, even though it is terrible to see you leave, and a ton of respect for you, Erin.
Agreed. I wanted to say, I keep thinking about all the pathways that you've helped create for kids, right? That we have been so focused on making sure that each student has the best opportunities. And I think about, I know a couple weeks ago we talked about our achievement scores and we talked about how our kids on IEPs have increased their scores by 20%. And I think that is because of the way that you have curated the access for kids to get, Beth does the support piece, you've done the academic piece, and it's just really amazing to see how some of our most struggling learners are really thriving. So I think of that. I think of the amazing push for STEAM, right? We would not have gotten there without you. Really calling us to task as a board too, to say, okay, guys, like we're doing a lot of things really great, but we got to really remember this piece. Robotics, your passion around robotics, I think is infectious. And when I think about all the different outside entities that could have scooped you up, I'm grateful that you delayed that until now. And it seems like AI is just your zone of genius, which can't wait to see how you lead the state, and how that starts to bring Michigan higher in terms of where we're at nationally also, and keeping Northville at the forefront. So thank you for everything you have done and will continue to do for our students. And I support this too. Wish we could, delay it always, but I think it makes sense that you're excited to do this and want to support you with that opportunity too.
I'm not going to repeat what everyone said. Just know that I 100% support all the comments that have been made before. I was thinking about when I met you was at a PTA council meeting, and we were talking about purchasing like Brain Pop and Scholastic News, which seems so archaic now, right? I just feel like it was that long ago. That was really a topic of conversation that we were having, and we've come so far so fast. And you said that right at the very beginning, and I just really want to thank you for everything that you've done for the district and you continue to do. I think as a public educator, you put students first, right? And we have really put Northville students first in the forefront of this AI movement. But I think what you're doing is just another mark on being a public servant, that you're going forward and being able to reach so many more kids that need this. So even though I'm so glad that you're kind of still going to be supporting our students in our district, I think what you're doing is really wonderful for the entire state, as Lisa said. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for us and continue to do for kids.
I think just to build off of, I feel like one of the kids now, like in the RP circle, to add
on?
to, I just want to add on to what Karen said. One thing that Mrs. Peck mentioned that I want to reiterate is that in the state school budget, there's a new allocation to Michigan Virtual University specifically for AI, to advance AI usage in Michigan public schools. And it's not just that we're handing off Aaron for something inconsequential. This is to build the state, to lead the state in AI. And I think that is one of the reasons that made me feel more comfortable about this. It's that, we want, as public schools, we want to build all the schools with us. So.
All right.
Well, before we roll, thank you to the board and Ms. Peck as well in a lot of behind the scenes work that was done on this. I'll just encapsulate three things, and Aaron and I have had many conversations. You know how I feel. When you're measuring success in a public sector entity, there's different measures and metrics of success. And there's a few that I hold near and dear, and the team knows it. One is, do you see the work you've done replicated in other places? Yep. Making a distinctive impact in our sector for others as well, and leading the way. Check. You're not going to find that in ACT or an SAT score. You're going to find that in looking around and seeing the final and most important thing that our team knows. I hold us, and the standard I hold us to is, do we use the privilege that we have in Northville with the parents, the kids, and the resources we have to help kids who don't? Aaron and I grew up in similar ways, and we were both kids who needed something or somebody to reach in and provide for us that what our circumstance could not. The piece about AI, and Aaron and I had our very first conversation about it. This is the ethos that he has, what we believe as a team. How do we use what we've been able to do here to reach into Nagani? and Alpena, in places that don't have that. So for the 7 of you to really have to wrestle with this and to make it work when you didn't have to, speaks very well about your character and what you believe the kids across Michigan deserve. And I thank you for that. The technical aspects of getting something like this done are not small. And Ms. Peck, I know, probably spent about 60 hours getting here on this. And I want to thank you for that in protecting our district and making sure that everything and every detail was attended to, including those asks. Darren, go forth and bring it. Our kids deserve it. And we'll talk more later, but publicly, really it's been a joy to see you get after it on many different things the past 2.5 years, whether it's working with our principals, but your tenacity on this, seeing Snorkel and then the melding of Snorkel with RP, with the melding of public service, to me is really the holy grail of becoming a truly, truly, truly top tier district in the country, which is what do we do with all of this? We have no excuse but to excel. So thank you. Thank you, President Wilson.
All right, anything else? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the cooperative agreement passes. And that brings us to the yin, I guess, of this yang, number 12. I'll turn it over to Ms. Meyer again.
Oh, yes, I bring forth motion 52 that the board adopt the amended employment contract for Aaron Boffman, Central Office Administrator, commencing on January 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 as presented.
Support.
I hear there was a. So we have a motion properly presented by Ms. Meyer and supported by Ms. Prescott. Any intro on this? I mean, you walked us through the background. Any questions on this one?
Vetted by legal, vetted by multiple other lawyers.
It's been vetted by enough, by an entire law firm almost at this point. All right.
And one mental health counselor.
And when served in dual roles in that capacity.
The new firm.
Oh, law firm of lawyers needs a mental health counselor, so that was check.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you for all the work on the contract amendment. That was a ton of work. Thank you. That brings us to number 13. Any added agenda items? Ms. Irving, do we have any? Anybody else? All right. That brings us to our second of 2 opportunities tonight for public comment. I do have one card here. This is somebody that's pretty familiar to all of us, but nonetheless, I'm going to ask that she give a quick introduction and kind of tell us a little bit about her connection to the district. Lori Lennerschmidt.
Okay.
It helps for the video too.
Okay, sure.
Wow, Spencer.
Thank you. My connection to the district is actually kind of nostalgic because 12 years ago, I got together with 10 moms and we built a playground here. Raised $100,000 in 9 months and did it. So I'm a big idea person. So I came to this meeting tonight because I saw the central office administrator contract. And I was intrigued by the ambiguity of that. And lo and behold, I find out about Aaron. The irony is that I was on his hiring committee. So all those years ago, right before we were looking for a bond issue, I was in the room in the high school and we interviewed all these people and he stood out as the gem. This is what I hope to happen with the next candidate for Assistant Superintendent of Instruction. I want transparency. I would like stakeholder input. I want parents to be there just like I was with Aaron. This is a key priority that I am laser focused in on, okay? Because this is an important job that is so key to our district that I want to see this an interim person posted for a determined time, followed by the job being posted, and then we have interviews, and then we have stakeholder input. This is the order of events that I would like to see happen on this because it is so key. We don't know who we'll get from the outside. There may be no other good candidates, but I want to see who they are because that's how important Northville is for us and our kids. So that is my goal, and I hope to be on that committee again, and we get another person just as great as Aaron because that's a priority for me. And if,
end up shuffling around internal candidates, well, then that should all have stakeholder input too. That's my piece. Thank you. Congratulations, Aaron. Thank you for all you've done.
All right, any other cards? Any other public comment? Going once, going twice. All right, that closes that period and brings us to number 15, questions, comments from board members. Anybody?
I just wanted to give a quick comment. When I was reading the board book this weekend, I don't like to take anything for granted. And the fact that we can do that work at the high school, I know it seems maybe small. It's not flashy at all, that we can make sure that the school runs hot when it's supposed to run hot and runs cold when it's supposed to run cold. And the fact that we can make sure it's not leaking. But there are districts that really struggle with that. So I just am so appreciative that we're in a community that continually supports bonds and sinking funds and make sure that our students and our teachers are in a good environment, because the bad environments can be distracting. And so that means to make sure that our kids feel warm. And I mean, right now they have to layer, they're all walking around with big backpacks, and I don't know, sometimes they don't even own coats. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But my point is, I'm just really appreciative that we have a district that can provide this for our staff and students.
So I just want to make one comment, really to thank Deegan Jewett. I actually started out at this school 16 years ago with my daughter in kindergarten. And with Sharon Irvine, we've gone through some principals in between. But the entire time from then, and it was a great school then, I've seen things just continue to get better. The relationship between the staff and how they support each other, willingness to try things, do things differently, really embrace everybody in the district, right? They just, have really sucked it together and made this place something special. I will always remember it in my heart. Once a Gator, you're always a Gator. I'll always remember that. And I spent so many years in this gym during the wintertime with the movies, watching the movies, laying here on blankets and stuff like that. But I really do want to compliment them for, again, this school has continued, like really all of ours. I don't necessarily going to single it out, but every one of our schools has kind of built year after year after year into something better. And it starts at the bottom, but it also starts at the top. And that team has really melded well, and I want to thank them for that. The same thing, I know Sarah feels the same thing when we were at Silver Springs. That's an amazing school. We walk to any of our buildings, and they're just amazing schools, and we're so proud of what they become as a board. people want to pat us on the back. We aren't the ones doing the work. It's really it's the teachers, the parents, the staff who works together and makes it all happen. So I just want to thank every single one of them. And it's a great way to go out at the end of 14 years being involved in the district. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And Deegan, watch it on video, but thank you, Deegan.
I just have a couple of quick runs to run through. First of all, Deegan, on video, again, those hallways are amazing. I'm going to be a broken record till I'm gone. I hope this board will take up food service diet, and even if it's just taking some of the worst offenders off the list for what's offered to the kids. I wanted to give quick feedback to the board. I think delegating to a quick subcommittee that could get on the phone with Ms. Peck to be nimble, it actually mattered. I mean, we've done it a couple times. In this case, I think there was a real gut check that needed to happen, and that needed to be sort of like voices of what the board will do, and that gave her the ability to kind of go back in real time so that we could get this done and not drag out a process and complicate it. I just wanted to give that feedback, that I think that was the right way to do that. And then since we are leaving, and I think this is our second to last school visit, I'll just say, I hope you guys never let it be a lost tradition in the school district to not come to the schools, partly because it's for you to refill your cup. It's for you to connect and remember why. And then also because the public gets to see you and be here. And this place, I had to park, when you see where I had to park, I was like, what is when, and then you moved public service, public comment up, and I was like, oh God, this is going to be terrible. What is wrong? What's going on? I mean, that was a room full of parents that got to see you guys. So, and then I hope you saw some of what I know you did, right? Like the interaction of those teachers, like you can't get that translated to you any other way than visibly. So I hope you'll always keep that as something central.
Yeah, great call out on the,
And I'd like to also just thank the firm of Prescott, Wilson, and McIntyre for springing into action. Congratulations.
that's right. No, thank you, Ms. Peck, for walking us through it. That was good work on that. Great work.
Just let me repeat what you said.
I know.
Also, never wanted to be one.
Watch the
And I
last 2
think-
minutes of the video, Deegan. I patted you on the back. Great job.
Oh, I believe
Clean
it.
it up. It wasn't like.
You can ignore Ms. Stewart's, you had 10 or
No,
something.
I know, I did. I had a list of things that growth, all the grows that you. Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, I was just going to say that we had the Northville Youth Network overbooked book club this past week. It was, the discussion was really impactful for me. I actually see multiple of the people here that were at the book club. I'll be working with Northville Youth Network to plan the next one. So if anyone has any book suggestions for parents, we did get one, and I wrote down the title and I can't remember it. It was like an anxious generation or something like that. So I'll be looking into that to see if that's oh no, that one's gonna cut me deep. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay. If you have any book suggestions, Erin, before we let you, fly the coop here, you can certainly let me know. But it was a really good discussion, and thank you everyone that came and that read the book at home and weren't able to come, because it's a great book. Never enough. It was a really good book.
Excellent. All right. I just want to call out the invitation that I think we all received from Cook School, their annual Thanksgiving feast.
Oh, that's
Tuesday, November 26th, 11 a.m., Cook School Gym. RSVP by the 21st, so that's fast approaching. Just wanted to call that out. Anything else? All right. Sorry to disappoint you guys. We'll call us adjourned at 8:51. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
You called 8:38. I called 8:37.
I called it 8:38.